Good late Tuesday, early Wednesday. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now, giving a look at that current Doppler radar. Nothing across our region right now. No shower activity. You see these temperatures here, though, are pretty cool, but what you would expect really for this time of year. 43 toward Keystone. I know where I'm at here east of Stark. We're sitting at a little bit warmer, actually. I know some of that wind kind of mixing things around. We're at 48 degrees, so that's kind of unusual as I look at things. And 39, though, in Norcross City as we kind of check some more of our temperatures out here. 47 toward Albany there, 42 toward Tallahassee. So a good variation here. Again, the wind factor will be something that we're looking at here as we look ahead into toward the timeline a little bit more so as we kind of watch things, as we kind of see how things develop on us. We are seeing a little bit of wind. They're not really just extremely strong, but seeing 5 knots, 6 knots, 7 knots here. So kind of seeing some mixing going on. You do see some shower activity further up toward the north here. So that's indicative of something that may give us a small, slight chance of rain on Wednesday. Not much of one. Only about 5% is what I put it at here for the covered area. So not too big of a deal overall. So just kind of interesting to take note of, though, as we do look at things here. Just kind of something to focus on as we look further up. I know some wintry mix maybe as we get up toward parts of North Carolina. Not out of the question there. And we're going to be watching this here, though, in terms of the moisture not really overlap with cool enough air to produce anything wintry. I wouldn't think anywhere close to the area. But it is interesting to see that with the relatively cool temperatures here that are in play. And we are seeing, I mean, even up there, mid-40s, but it's just falling as rain there as we're looking towards some of the areas there in central Georgia, like Sandersville, Milledgeville, the community of Millen there. I mean, even go further up there, closer toward Atlanta. There's a couple sites reporting a rainfall as well, that form of precipitation versus anything wintry. So just kind of interesting to take note of here as we kind of watch the overall weather scenario. I'll go ahead and zoom out a little bit. You can see here maybe some wintry accent mixed here and there as we get further on up. You see the temperatures go up toward areas like Maine. I know. Look how chilly it is around Maine there. Right now, some below zero temperatures, but there's been areas of Florida that have actually been chillier than areas up towards like Montana, for instance, looking at some of the data here recently in terms of some high temperatures and the like. So that's kind of interesting. Just an interesting weather pattern overall here that we're in. Not really active here at this point. So that is, I guess, if you kind of like it calmer, that's some good news here. Nothing that's just really overwhelming, it doesn't seem, as we're kind of looking here across the region, across the nation here. Just kind of touching on everything we need to here at this point, at this hour. So I know, I mean, California, they're going to start having some issues with some type of rainfall, but not something that we really need to focus on too much here as we look up toward areas there like Colorado and then Montana. Look at Montana right now, 46 in Billings, and that's about the same as what we're at here in north central Florida in some spots. And they're seeing things, I mean, in terms of the time, a couple hours back, but still. And just you can watch further out, though. I'll put this out of winter mode, and you see some precip out toward the west coast. A little bit of a thunderstorm risk out there. Maybe a sign of some things to come. But again, just kind of watching the grand scheme of things. Nothing that's just overwhelming here of concern to us. And again, kind of like that quieter pattern here as we're looking at things across the nation here in general. So again, you see South Carolina, temperatures in the 40s right now there. As we kind of look toward Columbia, they're at 45 with some light rain there. So again, nothing that's overwhelming here in general, as we're kind of just giving you another look at that overview of things. And we'll go ahead and kind of zoom back in, though. I think at this point you can kind of see what we're dealing with here on the local level. You start to see a little bit of that precip maybe trying to edge toward Vidalia there. That's just north of the viewing area, so kind of interesting, but again, nothing that is a big concern. Let's go ahead. We'll go on over right now toward the graphics. You'll be able to see that rainfall forecast for the next 7 days as we look toward areas there like Louisiana. Maybe a couple inches here. We're going to have some more rain coming to the picture. That's kind of the headline there, and that's going to be towards Sunday toward our local area here. So unfortunately, that could impact some events here across the Sunshine State, like the Pro Bowl, for instance, down there in Central Florida, could have issues with the rain. Right now, the severe chances aren't overwhelming here. Could have some stronger storms here as we're looking at things. The greater chance of that right now, though, would seem to focus toward maybe South Florida here. Things just don't look like they're coming quite into the exact setup that we need for like a bigger super weather event, but we could even have a threat up here as we look towards Sunday at some point. It's still a little too early to know for sure, so stay tuned for the latest updates, but I'm not forecasting severe weather toward the local area at this point, but that again could change here. We see rainfall amounts on the order of about an inch there toward North Florida, South Georgia, and a lot of that, if not really the majority of that here, falling there on that Sunday. That looks to be the case for most, and we'll go ahead and see that extended forecast here in just a moment. As you see the covered area, you can see we're in Bradford County, always on top of our 62 counties here, and letting you know about any inclement weather here in terms of those severe weather warnings. So let's go ahead and see that extended forecast now that I was alluding to. 5% chance of rain on Wednesday. Cool weather there on that Thursday. Again, kind of seeing a little bit of that reinforcing shot with some areas, maybe some frost here. We'll see. I know we had some of that. We were looking back toward that Tuesday morning in spots, and we had conditions here. I mean, got down to about 34. Well, we're out here east of Stark, always a little bit cooler if you don't have that wind there, minimal rural spot and the like. But as you kind of look, we're going to warm it back up towards 70 on Friday, 73 Saturday. As we get toward that Sunday there, though, cooling off a little because we're going to have the cloud cover and the rain and some thunderstorm activity around. So 68 there is what we're expecting. On Monday, a 40% chance of rain. Tuesday, a 20% chance of rain. You see 63 there for that high on Monday. Only 45 there for that low Tuesday. I say only 45. I mean, that's going to be cooler there than some of the preceding days because we're going to have some of that cooler, clearer condition try to make its way in. Then we could have kind of a low pressure system hanging around, so that's why it's not going to be in the 30s there. Anything toward that extent here at this point. So that's kind of interesting to take note of here as we're kind of looking at things. And now we do have the winds around and the light. That can be an issue with rip currents. I know we've seen in some of the guidance here, maybe some breezier conditions on that Wednesday here, so something to keep our eyes on as we're looking at things, as we're kind of monitoring everything with our Doppler radar technology. So that's kind of the storyline there. As we go back toward our other viewpoint now, I'll go ahead and zoom out just a little bit again, and you can kind of see again some precip to the north here, and that's not too concerning toward the weekend. If the temperatures were a little bit cooler up toward the north, and maybe that system toward the weekend could be a little bit of a winter weather scenario as we look further up here, but that would be, it would seem, north of our viewing area here at this point. So again, as we look, when I say winter weather scenario, I mean maybe like flurries or something, sleet, something to that effect there. But right now, we're not seeing a huge signal for that even further up here, anywhere close to home. Not really seeing that toward Georgia, South Carolina at this point. So further up in Georgia, when I say I'm talking about central North Georgia, of course South Georgia, not seeing that either. That's part of our local area though. So let's go ahead and go further on out. Then again, as we just kind of look here across the country, I know it's kind of always interesting to do this. I mean, it is really cold in Alaska right now. Look at these temperatures in Alaska. I know we've seen areas in Canada that have been pretty warm compared to like Florida, but Alaska not so much. You see southern Alaska right now, they're around 0, depending on where you're looking. Anchorage 3 degrees, but not far away, -16 there. As you kind of look, we go way up there. I mean, you see some areas there, -30s. These are the air temperatures, so wind chill factor. Some areas don't really have it, but some, those wind chills -50s. So it's kind of interesting here from that kind of broader perspective here. And you kind of look down there. I know you see areas there toward Hawaii there, and we'll go ahead and put on those temperatures right now. And you see a lot better out there. Just kind of giving you a little bit broader view of things than we generally would, since there's not too much going on overall as we're looking at things here on this very early Wednesday morning here at this point. It was late Tuesday here and early Wednesdays where we're really talking about things. So again, we're here early on this Wednesday morning, the 31st, giving this update at this point. So Again, that's kind of the storyline there. Let's see if there's any questions or any comments. I'll go ahead and check that real quick. I don't see anything here at this point. But again, just thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for trusting me. I know we're always on the different platforms here. Facebook, Casey Cloud, Everybody X Cloud Weather, Twitter /X at Cloud Casey, YouTube at Cloud Weather. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And then Twitch Cloud Weather, you have cloudweather.com, and the interactive raters available on cloudweather.com. So that's always helpful there as well. So again, I just kind of giving you guys a look at what's going on there across the region and even across the country. So I know it's just kind of helpful to do that here in some of these situations. I know just kind of figuring things out here, and we're just seeing how the overall weather patterns are setting on up. So I think that's going to go ahead and do it here for the time being. I hope you guys have a great night. We'll be back here late Thursday here with another update from the Weather Center. Go ahead and enjoy that rest of your night period here, and enjoy that Wednesday and that Thursday here. And we'll see you back here in about 48 hours or so.